Oh, hello, it is I, your boy Gomi, and man, oh man, we have a ton of news today. Continuing our news, we are going to be going over Francis Ngannou has signed with the PFL. That is going to be where he has ended up. He has had talks with Bare Knuckle. He has had talks with ONE FC. I would have really liked ONE FC, but ultimately I feel his best home is going to be for PFL. PFL is making moves, and this is a massive big move. It could be even bigger than we're thinking, to be perfectly honest with you. But yes, as you know, Francis ultimately decided to say screw the UFC. They're paying him trash. They're paying him $500K for a fight, and they weren't giving him any good benefits or anything like that. Eventually, they did give him everything he wanted except for the benefits. Per example, like they were giving him I think he said they were giving him Brock Lesnar's contract, which was, if I remember correctly, was it not like 7 or 8 million? So money-wise, he was taken care of. But he said he didn't want to deal with that. He said that's not what he wanted. He wanted fighters' rights. He wanted a seat in the board. All stuff that Dana White and the guys over at the guys over at the head of it, is it Zuffer or Endeavor who owns them? I don't know. Whatever the case is, basically everyone on that board is basically going to laugh in his face. They're going to laugh in his face. And they did. And he left. And then they immediately gave that wherever they promised him to Jones. And now Jones is getting paid way too much money. Regardless, then he went to go try boxing, went to do all this. A lot of people were saying that Francis honestly was fumbling the bag. Well, it turns out he did not fumble the bag. He had secured the bag because he has a insane deal, such a sweet deal, and he's getting what he wanted. So just going over some of the stuff that he has on the deal. So first off, he's going to serve as a member of the Global Athlete Advisory Board and the chairman of PFL Africa. So aka he's going to have a seat at the highest end of the table. He's going to have a say in things of fighter pay, fighter healthcare, protecting the fighters. There's always been, and putting the fighters first, which has always been a big thing of PFL that I've respected, but they still have some kinks to work out. He's going to serve as the chairman of PFL Africa because we know they're trying to move to other states, other countries and stuff like that. And they want to make it more professional, basically, which is something I like about PFL and why I'm hoping that they do succeed. I'm hoping more comes out of this. Then as for Francis Ngannou's contract himself, he's given a 2 to 3 fight deal, guaranteed a high 7-figure salary. I'm going to say probably not as much as what UFC is paying him. I don't think they're going to pay him that much. Honestly, I don't know. They say high 7-figure salary, but I'm just saying it's going to be like 6 million. I say something like that. And he's going to have his own sponsors in the PFL cage. Something I hope PFL does a little bit more. Something I'll lean more into. And at first, we thought they established that his opponents will get a minimum salary. Yes, he negotiated for his opponents. He basically negotiated to his opponents, say, hey, I'm the money fight. Here's in the contract that I am the money fight and you will get paid. He said his opponents would make a minimum $2 million to face him. Oh my God, I already love Ngannou, but if this is all legit, if this all comes to pass, he might jump up as one of my favorite fighters of all time. I mean, he already is maybe top 10, but it's just going up. You deserve $2 million to fight Francis. No, you don't even deserve $2 million. Honestly, that's exuberant. You deserve $1 million. But he's giving you an extra $1 million. Francis doesn't care. Francis is getting paid six to 8 million. But and now being on the board for it, all this thing, the future for PFL and Francis Ngannou is very big because you also know Jake Paul is part of PFL. And while he says he cares about the fighters and he does all this, he may or may not. But at the end of the day, if he does stuff for the fighters, that's great. That's absolutely great. PFL, I really like what they've been doing. I know that they're actually an acquisition to buy Bellator. And I think that would be very interesting if they're actually fully buy Bellator, accept their roster. Because Bellator has such a good roster. The only problem is they just don't have the way of getting themselves out there. But I really like a lot of the things PFL is doing with the smart cage, how they've been handling fighter pay, the tournament structure. We saw that really elite kickboxer who was supposed to go UFC and was offered 20K or 40K. PFL's like guaranteed 140K per fight. You win the championship, $1 million. All these things I would like to see as well too. All fighters get their own, like, I would like them to like make a deal, get a uniform, like kind of like how UFC has Venom, because I love the Venom shorts on UFC, but modify the shorts that have allowance for fighter specific and unique sponsors, so it won't look tacky having like OnlyFans on your ass or something like that. But maybe you could have like little logos on the sides or stripes of your shorts or something like that. And then also, I would like to expand from MMA, because we saw how successful one is with how they had their MMA flyweight, MMA, and also Muay Thai and grappling tournament. Maybe PFL, Francis wants to do boxing, and that's in his contract too. He go box. Maybe PFL could have their own boxing league. They can have a boxing tournament, they have a kickboxing tournament, have all three. You could span out the cards, flesh them out more, and have more cards that have more pay-per-views. I think that's a great move. I think the PFL is making some big moves, and I'd love to see them succeed. I really do. I love the UFC. It will still always be my favorite because they have the best fighters, but I just want more success, and I want the PFL to be more professional, because that's what I really want. I want the sport of MMA and combat sports to be looked at in a better regard, and I feel PFL is the one to do it. UFC has proven time and time again they're not the one to be able to do that. I'm sorry, but we're giving title shots to Colby Covington. We're making freak show fights nowadays. I hope PFL is the one to make it more professional. But yes, this has been your boy Gomi. Let me know what you think of the news. Let me know what you think of Francis Ngannou, and let me know if you think he fumbled or secured the bag. I think he secured the bag. Bye-bye.